Hello, 9-hour one.
In this short video, I'll be talking about the following topic: how do external factors affect our emotions? In case you weren't aware, external factors, big words I know, more than one syllable? Whoa, Brianna, consists of situations, circumstances, and events outside of the body. Emotions are not simple feelings like I had originally thought, but as Google puts it, quote, a strong feeling deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationship with others, end quote. The difference between feelings and emotions is more of, feelings are, clearly, what you feel as in mood, but emotions are deeper than that. Emotions are similar to feelings, but they are deeper and have a need to be expressed in some way, mainly actions or bodily messages. But what I wanted to know before I started this was, if we're all at least vaguely similar, then why do we all react differently, and how so? Now, obviously, if you were to, let's say, drop your sweets on the floor, let's confess that the majority of us would be understandably upset about it. But then, there are times if something happens to us that is completely out of our control. For example, perhaps a stranger is rude to you in some way. How would you react? Would you spend the rest of your day frantically pondering what you did to them or what made that person angry? Or would you just simply forget about it moments after it happened? It's this type of choice that I wanted to look into for Term 3. As Michael A. Joa puts it in his book, The Spiritual Anatomy of Emotion, quote, our deepest emotions dictate who we are as an individual, what's important in our lives, what we choose to do, and what we become, end quote. As confusing as the statement may seem, it's actually quite simple in the end. I received 10 responses on my Google form experiment, External Factors Affecting Emotion, and 50% of my anonymous answers said that their emotions felt slightly altered after contact with an external force. Specifically, negative experiences. But sometimes something could happen that wouldn't affect you normally, and that would be the result of hormones touching up on your emotions. Hormones, as you may have heard before from your parents, are chemical messengers that transfer throughout the body and back to your brain. Now, when someone says something along the lines of, "Ooh, that's just your hormones talking," and I know at least the majority of you have heard it before, it's actually a little bit more complicated than that. See, there are a couple different types of these funny little things. I could go on and on about what controls what, but for your sake, and mine, let's just settle on the ones that move behavior and emotion around. The one in particular I'm going to be talking about today is called serotonin. Don't get it confused with melatonin, although it is similar, but melatonin is what makes you tired at night, while serotonin is what controls mood, appetite, and sleep cycles. You can increase your level of serotonin by getting out in the sun and being exposed to natural bright light more, which makes you happy doing so. For those of you that did take that Google form, which, good on you by the way, out of a 1-to-5 ratio depending on how much sun you get in a day, 4 out of 10 of people in this class spend more than 50% of your spare time in the sun, which I'll admit is pretty great. Better than me, at least. Anyway, as some of you may know from listening to me sprout facts and information, one result of vitamin D deficiency can be called seasonal affective disorder, where, you guessed it, can cause you to feel sad according to certain seasons. Most commonly, winter depression. Like I said, vitamin D deficiency, but this is most common in cold environments where a strong supply of sunlight is rare. So you see, if you live somewhere where you aren't exposed to sun often enough, you could end up feeling quite down in the chilly months. As you may have guessed, it is closely linked to normal depression. It's possible some of you may be getting a little bit uncomfortable right now, so let's move on. Internal grounding! I know at least someone doesn't know what this means, so let's elaborate. Internal grounding is basically what makes you, you. It alters how you react to things, what you're passionate about, and what kind of person you are in certain situations. now that that's over with, we can move on to the real stuff. A little while ago, if you were listening, I did talk about how differently people can react to things. According to numerous sites, it's clear that the most connected internal grounding is, the stronger you can react to it. For example, earlier, as I said, I talked about what you would do if a stranger was rude to you for no apparent reason. Some people would be affected for a long period of time, while others wouldn't be affected at all. This would simply be a matter of an emotional balance. As you could probably guess, people who found themselves and were comfortable with who they were, and people who were unbalanced were obviously unhappy with the outcome. You feel happy depending on positive things, and sad or angry depending on sad things. Now do we get it? I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I think that whoever's listening can at least know now. Some of you are probably getting shifty around now because this is a pretty long video already. Yep, there's a bit more to it than that. Just hang in there, it'll be over soon. Here's a picture to keep you going. Happy? Let's move on. Anyway, I wanted to touch up on something I said earlier. You know, the what your emotion was beforehand deal. I talked enough about hormones, so to finish out we can just talk about raw feeling. People experience different emotions after they encounter things, just like they react to them. You could trip while you're playing with your friends and be embarrassed and miserable, or laugh it off and be happy. It's all about your approach and how you feel in that moment. It's all about choice, as my mother would often say to me when I blubbered like an infant when something didn't go my way. Oh, come on! We all did it! But seriously, this isn't just a sympathy-lacking pep talk, alright? I'm being real here when I say that everyone feels differently according to situations. You may even be sad for no apparent reason, and frankly, that's okay. This turned out a little bit longer than I expected. Oops. That concludes my presentation. Sorry for keeping you all staring at a TV screen for that long, and I really hope you learned something. Listen to the single blooper that I have. Emotion was beforehand. Deal. I talked enough about hormones, so to finish up. Thank you for listening to my boring voice drone on about useless information that you'll probably never need in life. And, see you next time.